Hey there, it's Dr. Kamisa. Welcome back to our video series. Today you're probably wondering why I have two things that look very similar in my hand. Well, today I'm going to describe really what this instrument is, how we use it on the spine, how we adjust. If you're new to our video series, please click the like button below, subscribe to us, the notification bell that I did remember the name this time. So stay tuned. I got lots to share. This is going to be a fun one. So we're back. No, I'm not Tim Tool Time. I'm not this old house. I am pretty handy. But today what I want to do is describe really how this gun works, the different instrument adjustments on here, and why I have a little analogy set up here. A piece of cedar 4x4 post, and on the drill, you'll see pictures on the video here, there's different torque settings. So we have 5 screws here. We're going to try different settings and just see exactly how much torque, how much pressure, how much is going to make that screw sit perfectly on the wood. We want the screw to end up perfectly flat in the wood. We don't want it to be too deep in the wood, and we don't want it to be too up. We don't want the screw to be sticking up. So I'm just going to go through this and I'm going to explain to you. So first we're going to do number 8 setting. So number 8, we're just going to go in here and we're going to just let this go. And you see, it doesn't go any further than this. So I'm going to switch it now to 12. 12 means we're going to do more torque. So we're going to go to 12 now. Still, it's still sticking out. So now we're going to go to number 16, and we're going to see how close that takes us. It's sticking out just a little bit more now, so I need a little bit I need more pressure. So I'm going to go all the way to 20 now and see what happens when we go to 20. So I was 8, 12, 16, and I'm going to go to 20 now. Well, that actually drove it into the wood too far. So not enough pressure, too far. And now we're going to go back to 18. I believe 18 is going to be the number. So we're just going to let this roll. And we're right on the money now with 18 pounds of torque. I'm assuming they're pounds of torque. But we're going to see. But anyways, it's 18 on here. So we had 8, 12, 16, 20 was too much. And 18 was perfect. Now I'm going to describe what happens when we use the adjustment gun on a spine, so you don't realize that I'm just making a video of do-it-yourself video on how to put a post together. Stay tuned. All right, so now we're going to talk about the instrument and why would I want to use this over my hands to adjust the spine. That's actually just a couple vertebrae, but to adjust the spine. And so let me give you a little bit of physiology first. So the bone tissue, everything in the universe has its own frequency. Whether your microwave oven, your Bluetooth, your telephone, your Wi-Fi, organ tissue, bone tissue, everything's at a different frequency. So when we talk about power plates, that has a frequency range from 30 to 50 hertz. When we're talking about bone tissue, it has a range from 4 to 12 hertz. And what that means, 4 hertz is actually 4 times a second, right? So that's fairly slow versus 12 times a second, which is a little bit faster. But so this instrument, it has that range. So it has a sensor in the end of the tip. It's called an accelerometer. That accelerometer actually detects in real time what's actually happening to the vertebrae. It's really detecting how stiff the vertebrae is. And as we go through the spine here, we would start in the lumbar spine and work our way up to the cervical spine. But the key difference, there's several different traits to this instrument. And I'll explain how it was developed in a little bit. But right now, so I've been in practice for 29 years. I'm a fantastic adjuster with my hands. I've adjusted, I don't even know how many times, a couple million times, who knows what the real number is. But that's a psychomotor skill. So we would have, if you came to see me, I gave you a great adjustment, and then you went to see the next person or the next doc that we have working for us, you would say, oh, well, that adjustment was the same as Dr. C's adjustment, or it was too heavy, was too light, too much force. So with this technology, the IQ instrument adjusting device is 100 times faster than me. Not a couple, 100. That's a big number, right? 100. It produces 25% more motion to the segment than a manual adjustment. 100 times faster, 25% more motion to the segment itself. Greater neurological stimulation to the entire spinal cord than a manual adjustment. Plus, and this is a big plus, there's very little risk to you and very little risk to me. Meaning that when you know how to use this is no different than saying, okay, well, I have a drill, I have the best drill on the market. Just because I have the best drill doesn't mean you've had contractors to your house. You get one contractor that has all the same equipment as the next contractor, and they just do a lousy job in your house because they don't know how to use the tools properly. We're advanced certified for this equipment. This table that we have, I'll explain the table in a little bit, but the table is advanced. When we look at our x-rays, which I described in my previous video, the detailed, we know exactly where to adjust. We know how much pressure. It has 3 settings on the back here, from as little as about 10 pounds of force. We can even dial it back even less than that, all the way up to 67 pounds of force, which is on the lumbar spine here. And so when we do an adjustment, this is what it's going to sound like. Right? So what it's actually doing is detecting in real time what the frequency of the tissue is. And so we can adjust infants with this. We can adjust a 96-year-old with severe osteoporosis and really not have any or a very minimal risk to both myself and to the patient. But maximum response, maximum neurological response, maximum biomechanical stimulation to the joint itself. So when we talk about the instrument, people, I've had people that have gone to other chiropractors before and they say, well, just crack my neck. It's just right here. Just crack my neck. And I have to educate them on why I would want to use this. It's kind of like if I said to you, can I use your cell phone? And you say to me, well, sorry, I have to go to the payphone. Is there a payphone at the gas station up the street here? There might be a payphone, right? This is technology. And so when we look at what's actually taken place over all the years of this development itself, Dr. Chris Koloka is the brainchild behind this patent here. And the initial research was done in Australia with Dr. Koloka, Dr. Deed Harrison, Dr. Gunther, who was an orthopedic surgeon, and they worked on sheep, because a sheep spine is very similar to a human spine. And they basically started with a clean sheet of paper. And they said, how do we get the greatest response out of the spine with an instrument? And so some of the pictures of the research that were done, it was actually very fascinating, because basically you see the spine of this sheep and all these computer wires and everything else, and basically through the multiple rounds of research and investigation and hourless time spent in travel to Australia, came this instrument. It is the best the best, bar none, the best way to adjust the spine. Here we are in 2020, this is August 2020, and this has been around for several years now. We've been using different variations of this as it's been developing. But so when it comes to a manual adjustment, that's what we use. And people say, well, can you just crack me? Well, after they've been adjusted with this, their spine feels completely different. So let's remember, the nervous system is so sensitive that if you can feel a mosquito land on your toe, I don't need to hit you with a hammer. I don't need to jump on top of you from the table, wrestle you on the table, have a big burly guy on the table at 250 pounds, and I'm going to try and adjust him when this is real-time feedback. Real-time. It knows exactly when the vertebrae is done moving. It's the best way to adjust. It's the safest way to adjust. We get the greatest input to the nervous system. And when the spine is done being adjusted, people feel like, whoa, I feel light, I feel airy, I feel like there's more weight on the back of my toes, or the back of my heels, I should say, not weight on the back of toes. More weight on the back of my heels. So, yeah, so this is how we adjust. So if you think I'm a little, let me bring up my little drill again. Yeah, so we call it, it looks like a drill. We call it at the office here, we call it the, adjusting gun. But it's an impulse IQ, the letter I, the letter Q, impulse adjusting instrument. So the latest technology, and so when we hear from MDs that say, oh, don't let a chiropractor touch your neck. We don't want them to adjust you. They have no clue what this is. So this entire pathway from the structural assessment, from the exam we do, from the balance we do, from the posture, from the detailed analysis of the x-rays that we take, to the way that we adjust, 95% MDs don't even know that this exists today. So they think that you're going to go to a chiropractor and they're just going to walk in and crack your neck and walk out. Well, that's not what we do here at Ultimate ChiroCare. If we're empowering you to live your best day every day, if we keep raising the bar for ourselves and for the clinic and for our quality of care that we give, then it's my responsibility to have the best technology available so I can empower you to live your best day every day. And that includes this table that we're on. So I'm going to show you a couple different features of this table, which are very unique in itself. So stay tuned. So whether someone's in extreme pain, whether someone is, they can't sit, they can't lay on their tummy, they can't lay on their back, they have to be adjusted sitting up. This table allows us to make all the adjustments possible, pardon the pun, to make all the different changes to their structure so they are comfortable. So when we're using the instrument to make the adjustments, we are providing the highest level of care possible when it comes to adjusting the spine. And so, as we empower you to live your best day every day, I challenge myself to continue to raise the bar, to look for new technology, to continue to be able to provide the highest level of care possible. Because if I held myself for that standard, then I expect to have fantastic results with our patients when we look at the structural assessment from A to Z, from the time you walk in the door to the time that we get your first adjustment. So, until next video, like our video, subscribe to us, turn on a little notifications, and until next time, have a fantastic day.